All right, welcome everyone. My name is Jackie Esselman and I have Jill Steckbauer here with me, and we are presenting on the Right Tips and Tricks Scholarship Application Workshop here. If you weren't able to make either of our events that were held in December, this is your place to be, and we will walk you through some best practices and tips when you're applying for mid-state scholarships. So Jill, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so a little bit about scholarships in general at Midstate. Each year, the Midstate Foundation awards over $300,000 in high school scholarships and continuing scholarships to Midstate students. There are actually 3 different windows that high school students could potentially take part in, and I'm going to let Jill talk a little bit about each of those scholarship windows.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Yes, we have 3 scholarship windows. The first one is specifically just for high school students that are graduating this upcoming May and June and planning on their education in August next fall. That window opens up here December 13th, and that actually is the window that is specifically for you. We give probably between $50,000 and $70,000 just to high school students in that window. And then we have another window that opens up in April for new and continuing students for that fall semester as well. So you're eligible for that also. So you can apply again for those scholarships. And then again, once in spring, when we open that window up for the spring semester, you can apply in October for those as well. So it's a continued opportunity for you to apply for over $300,000 in scholarships for mid-state programs. And we have scholarships for every program, whether it be a 3-credit EMT class or CMA class, all the way up to a 2-year associate's degree or technical diploma.
Yeah, fantastic. And additionally, the Wisconsin Technical College system gives away a Wisconsin Tech Excellence Scholarship each year to students that apply for that. So that is through the Wisconsin Technical College system. If you're planning on going to a technical college, this is something you'll want to explore, and you can do that by contacting your high school counselor. So as Jill mentioned, there are a couple of windows that you have the opportunity to apply to. Here's just kind of a timeline on what that looks like. High school scholarship window opens December 13th, must be submitted by January 21st. You will be notified if you are an award winner by February, and most awards are applied to fall and spring tuition. Jill, could you talk a little bit about what exactly that means?
Sure. What that means is if you had applied and were notified that you're an award winner of a $1,000 scholarship, typically we put $500 towards your fall semester tuition and then $500 towards your spring. So you know you're getting some scholarship money both semesters. It really helps for you planning, and it also takes a little bit of the burden off if you're thinking you have to work so many hours to make those dollars up to pay for your tuition. The other reason why we notify you in February is because we like to make sure that you are notified and all the paperwork is done that we need to disperse this to you prior to your high school scholarship receptions, because we like to come and present you with your awards at those receptions.
Very good. And these 2 windows that you have the opportunity to apply to have 5 questions, and we'll be going over those in just a little bit. But you can reuse these answers to your questions. So it's a good idea to, script out what you're going to say in each of the questions that we'll share with you in just a bit. Put those in a Word document or a Google Drive or somewhere that you can easily access them for the next scholarship window, which is for new and continuing scholarship students. That opens in April 18th, and those must be submitted by May 27th. If you're a winner of that window, you will be notified in July. And again, these awards are then split between the fall and spring semesters as well. So if you receive an award, you are going to be notified on your preferred email. So if you apply with your Gmail account or your personal account, that is how we will be contacting you. You have to accept your award in order to continue with the process. So you'll have to log back into the portal that you have applied to and accept that award. And then you're going to receive a second email. And this is also very important to really accept your full scholarship. It's called the Post Acceptance Award, which is really something that you can do to thank your donor, thank the foundation, upload a photo of yourself, and then specific requirements for the scholarship itself and some information about the reception.
So, and with the specific requirements there, it could be as easy as a donor is requesting that we verify the GPA, so we need your transcript. Or it could be that they want a letter of recommendation. So all of that will be uploaded at that time. So then we have the documentation to meet the donor's request. So that's what those specific requirements might be.
So what exactly are you going to need to apply? You're going to have applied to Midstate Technical College. So if you haven't done that yet, you can do it at mstc.edu/apply, or work through your college outreach coordinator. They can certainly assist on, what program to select and the application process. So you have to have an active program application. From there, you'll be admitted to the college and receive some student login information. And this is what you're going to need to use to get into the scholarship portal to apply for those scholarships. Then, as mentioned before, those 5 scholarship questions are your basis to applying for Midstate scholarships. The login process will be your student ID number. So each student has a 8-digit student ID number that's unique to them. So at mstc.edu. So your ID number at mstc.edu would be your login, and you will need a 16-character passphrase that you will create something unique to you. If you didn't receive an email to create your password, you can simply visit mstc.edu, and at the bottom banner of the page there is a password reset tool, and that will help you reset your password if you had forgotten it or misplaced it, that sort of thing. There is a scholarship page on our website, but the direct link to the scholarship application is mstc.academicworks.edu. And once you get logged in, once you access this link, you will be taken to a page that looks like this. You will notice that up in the upper right-hand corner, there is a sign-in button here. This is where you put in that login information. And this is where you'll access all internal Midstate scholarships. You'll notice over here on the opportunities page, there's a drop down for opportunities right here. That will be external scholarships that you'll be able to log back into after you've completed the internal application. You can search for other additional opportunities as well by logging in there. So again, you'll be taken to the sign in with your Midstate login. This is where you would put your 8-digit student ID number at mstc.edu along with that 16-character passphrase. You'll get logged in and you'll see a page that looks just like this, and you'll have to put in your first name, your last name, and your high school graduation year.
It's very important for us that you put in your graduation year, because donors choose the criteria of their scholarships. They want to make sure that it meets, and some of them specify which high school year and also which high school they graduate from. In the high school, we just want to make sure that, yes, you are planning on graduating this upcoming May and June so that you could be awarded for that fall semester. So that's the reason for this question here. And then we go into the actual essay questions.
Perfect. So this is kind of the meat and potatoes of how to be successful, or how to write a successful scholarship application. So question 1, Jill, I'll read the question, and if you want to just give us some feedback on maybe what reviewers may be looking for here.
Okay, sounds great.
So essay tip question 1, what do you expect to gain from earning a college degree from Midstate Technical College?
This is where you tell the story about why you chose Midstate and so forth. For some people I just want a degree so I can get a better job paying more than minimum wage. Some could be, I want a degree because I'm a first generation student and my parents didn't go to college, my grandparents didn't go to college, and I just want to be the first. Those are all great answers. This is the starting point of how you tell your story about why you chose Midstate and why you chose your career pathway through us. So and what you expect to gain, some people put it as simple as, hey, I expect to gain a degree so I can support my family. We do want you to elaborate on those questions, just because the story tells more about who you are and that you really thought about what this degree could mean to you.
Absolutely. So right around a 500 limit word is what we're looking for with that answer.
Correct.
Going into question 2, what are your goals after you graduate from college?
So when we pose this question, a lot of students says, I really don't know, because, that seems like so far away. So keep in mind, these are your short-term goals as well as your long-term goals. It could be as simple as, hey, I want to get through this semester so I can get registered for the next semester and ultimately by 2024 or 2025 have my college degree. It could be, hey, I want to get through college and get a job. Or long-term goal may be, I want to work for a year after my degree, earn some money, save so I can go back and get my bachelor's degree, knowing that my program has 100% transfer rate, let's say into a UW system. Those are all goals. And we want to hear, the reviewers want to hear both short-term and long-term, because it really helps them take, when they do the reviewer and the rubric, they look to see, did you really answer the question? And so really think about what your goals are. And it's different for everybody. So understand this is your story. And because these questions are anonymous, our reviewers don't see your name or anything like that. And we ask that you don't put your name in anywhere in the essay answers to keep it that way. The story is what's going to be what they review you on, and basically whether you answered it. So please really think about short-term. And that could be as simple as, hey, I want to get my EMT license and start working part-time. My long-term goal is to get into the paramedic program here at Midstate and graduate there so that I have a regular schedule and I could maybe get on a fire department with my paramedics program. So those are things that can help shape your story here. Think about it in terms in blocks of how those short-term goals will lead to your long-term goal.
Excellent. Those are very helpful tips. Question 3, how will you impact your desired field or industry?
This question, a lot of students are like, I'm not sure I even know how to answer that. Well, this is where you can really use your creative writing skills about you. Keep that in mind. This is about you. And everybody has their story about why they got into the profession that they did, right? So for me, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a nurse. However, nursing at that time did not get paid very well. And so because I liked math and numbers, I went in to be an accountant, and I got my accounting degree and my CPA and all of that kind of stuff, and decided I really didn't like sitting behind a desk there, but I did want to make an impact somewhere, right? So I discovered that, hey, can I use that some way and be in a field where I talk to people and answer questions and help people out? And that's where it came. That's how I came to be here is, I get to talk to donors who want to give students the opportunity to have their college paid for, or give a little less pressure for them to have to come up with the money themselves. The donors want to help you. And I get to give it away. So I get to bring money in and give it away and make both the student and the donor happy. So for me, I needed that connection with making an impact on somebody's life by helping release the financial burden. That's the story here that we're talking about. You all have a story, whether it was somebody, inspired you as a child, or that you were a child that maybe was sick in the hospital and you want to be one of those caregivers down the road, and you want to be that person that can hold that family member's hand in all those situations. That's your impact. What is that going to be? What's that going to look like for you? What do you hope that to look like for you? And that's where you tell it here. That's why the words are 15 words, limited to 1,500 words, because that's more storytelling. And please be honest and so forth. And like I said, keep your personal information, your name out of it, so it can stay anonymous for our reviewers. But this is truly an area where you can really impact a reviewer's score.
Great, thank you. Going into question number 4. So this is writing a short autobiography, including information about your family, work experience, community involvement, hobbies, spare time activities, and what you hope to do in the future. Now, you just mentioned that we should try to remain anonymous in our scholarship writing answers. What are some tips that a student could do here?
So with this, when you talk about a short autobiography, you could be child number 3 of a family of 6 children. Your parents are divorced, but they share running a hobby farm, and they both work full-time trying to make ends meet. You're a first-generation student. You have found great insight and help through being associated with the local FFFA. You volunteer at your church and the daycare. And I truly love writing music on the side, and playing the piano is a great release for me. What I hope to do in the future is be able to give children the opportunity to experience some of those outlets just like I had, and so forth, and really make a difference in my career. And that's why I chose nursing, let's say. So that's sort of that story, building on your family without telling anybody who you are or what you're doing. The reason why this is important is we have donors out there that specify that a student has to have some sort of work experience or community involvement. And this is where we rate it. If you talk about the fact that you have that, then we can give you a qualification point on that and take your essay questions up to the top for that scholarship. Donors have specific requirements, and the community and work experience and so forth and hobbies are big for a number of our donors. So that's why it's important to think about it from that holistic perspective.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, question number 5, last question. Describe why you want to or need to receive this scholarship.
So because we have donors that say a student needs to have a need-based financial need to receive a scholarship, and then we have donors that say, no, that isn't the case. We want to know why you want it. So that could be, hey, I'm working 3 jobs, trying to support my family and going to school full time. And so a scholarship really would help me because that would help put my mind at ease on the gas to go back and forth to work and school. I may need it because all I'm eligible for is student loans, and I'm trying to minimize how much debt I'm going to be after college. And so I'm trying everything. I'm applying for scholarships, I'm applying for work study, I'm applying for grants just to help me so I don't have to take out so many loans. That could be a need. That's why you need the scholarship. This part of the story helps wrap around who you are and how you are as far as a hardworking, deserving student. And like I said, donors pick sometimes whether or not you have a need or not, and we have to use the financial aid score there. But if we have a tie, this question allows us to take into account that deeper rooted story behind the why you need it or why you want it. And somebody may say, hey, I just want the scholarship so I don't have to work so many hours at work to make ends meet. Right now I'm living on ramen noodles and macaroni and cheese, and I'd like to have hot dogs sometime. That could be why you want to or you need to receive a scholarship, right? So this is that question, just trying to wrap around your story about financial necessity or what your financial situation is in college by not only using the financial aid score. We do recommend, though, that you do fill out the financial aid application, whether or not you think you are eligible to receive financial aid or not. And the reason being is we do have scholarship donors that say, hey, we want to know that a student has tried to receive as much help financially across the platform. They don't care whether or not they receive financial aid or not. They just want to know that you tried to get it. And with that, those donors have scholarships that say, hey, as long as they have a financial aid score, they're eligible for this. If you don't have that, then you're not eligible for the scholarship. It's automatically kicked out. So please take that. You might be surprised that you might be eligible for something. What people think sometimes is, well, I'm not, but I have seen more and more times than not that students thought they weren't and they filled it out and they got something, whether it be work study or even a loan that may help you in a short term with your educational pathway. And this is limited to 1,000 words, so it's not very long. But it's just a way to wrap around that service of why you want to receive or need to receive a scholarship.
Right. And I think, Mike, now that we've done with the questions here, I think the takeaway from hopefully what you've heard in these tips and tricks is that just really telling your story. There's no right or wrong answers here. The essay questions aren't intended to be a burden. They're just some limits for you to share what your story is and how you can be successful as a student at Midstate through receiving a scholarship. This isn't supposed to be a difficult process whatsoever. So if you have you want some help with getting logged into the scholarship portal, or maybe even with your program, deciding what program you may want to go into before you apply for scholarships, our outreach team can be reached at recruitment@mstc.edu. The foundation is always open to helping you with your scholarship application process as well. And they can be reached at the foundation at mstc.edu.
Yep.
Jill,
any other things? The only thing I was going to add to that is if you're having a challenge, because not everybody's at different writing levels with essays, understand that our links on all 4 of our campuses have staff there that can help you with that. So if you have your essay started and you're like, you know what, it's not doing what I really intended it to, have them read it, have them help you with it, tell them what you're trying to accomplish, and they can help you wordsmith it so you can get it to be what you want it to be. And they are all here to help. You just have to set up an appointment with them or just walk in. They have people there helping each and every day. So don't let that be a reason why you choose not to apply for scholarships. And think about it. If you get a $1,000 scholarship and it took you an hour to do this application, that's $1,000 an hour you just made for doing that. In addition, because you can save those essay questions and just tweak them for the next application, that hour that you spent to do that first round just may have gone down to half an hour for the next. And if you get a $500 scholarship or a $1,000 scholarship, your time is really, really valuable. And it's an ROI that you're not going to get anywhere else just by spending the time writing the essays.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Jill. We hope all of you found this valuable, and we are here to help. So please reach out with any questions. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jill.